with another topic, decision theory. What exactly the decision and how the decision help out probably the managers or the management of any organization to, I can say, to get the benefit for the business unit. So let's start. Let's think. We can. I can give you an example. Decision is what? Decision is what? When you're simple. I've given an example of HR manager. HR manager. What the job of HR? HR basically start the recruiting, and its main job to recruit a person who is fit for the organization. Suppose example, a company require different people. They require a sales people, they require a marketing, they require advertising people, they require some programmers. So the company give the requirement to the HR, then HR give the advertisement in the paper or somewhere else in some job sites or somewhere else, and when they then the person is applied for those jobs and they got called for the interview after that. So here the HR role has started. So HR has to take decision to take the perfect candidate for the organization, either from the sales side. Suppose that there is a sales side, 10 people has come for the interview and they required only 2 or 3 people. So they have to choose out of 10, 3 best people. 3 best people they have to choose out of 10. Same, the same thing in marketing or in advertisement or some, I can say that, or in this side, what you call advertisement, marketing, programming, all the sides. They have to choose the perfect one. So here the decision theory involves. Either the decision is based, it's all the selection is based on the decision of the HR. The same thing come about the project manager. What the project manager is doing? Project manager is to take the decision to so that his project is fulfill all the requirement. It will deploy the project to the customer on time. So he has to take a lot of decisions regarding the resources, regarding the job scheduling, regarding the, I can say that, how he will take the decision for all these things so that the outcome of the project is optimal. Optimal is in the sense they will get perfect solution, they will get perfect output from that project, so that they can easily satisfy their customer, so the customer will come back again over there to get the for another project. So I can say that a project manager play a key role to take a decision for deployment of any project. So these are come under the decision theory. Obviously, while you are taking any decision, either in a day-to-day life, we are taking a lot of decision. In a day, when the day started, we plan something. When the day started, we plan something. We have to get up at 6 o'clock on the morning. We have to go for exercise. Then we have to go for after exercise. We have to do this, that. Then have to go to office, and what in the office we have some priority work. So according to that, we will make our chart. Those decisions we have to follow. The same thing, I can say that in the, just like in the stock market, analysts are taking the decision for in which stock we have to put some money and in which stock we are not. So these are the decision makers through which they will get the maximum output from those particular stocks. So these are the decision kind of thing. So we will see the decision theory. So decision theory, most management decisions are made in an environment of uncertainty. Decision theory provides an orderly way of choosing among several alternative strategies when decisions are made under uncertainty or risk. See, when you're taking decision, so you have a not only single option to take decision. You have to take decision multiple options. Suppose you are driving a car. Simple example, and there is a two way to reach a particular destination. So you have to take decision, either I have to go for this way or I have to go follow that way. So this kind of decision. So there is uncertainty before taking decision. This uncertainty, there is no certainty. So uncertainty, there is environment of uncertainties through which we have to take the decision to outcome of that uncertainty. So for taking either when you started your career, so you have to, after that you have to, suppose you have done your graduation, then after graduation you have to decide either I have, then you have to take a decision, either I have to go for some management side or some computer application side or somewhere else. After 12th you have to decide either you have to go for engineering side, either you have to go for doctor, my medicine side, or you have to go somewhere else. So you have to go some defense or somewhere else, whatever is going in your mind. So that time you have to take a decision, and that decision will make your career or will make your career path, entire life cycle, career life cycle. It will change your career life cycle. What the decision you are going to take initial days. So these things we, so day by day we each, I can say that each and every day we are taking some decision, and on that decision our future has been decided. With the help of that we can do something, or what we can do and what we cannot do. So obviously there is a risk when you're taking a decision. Sometimes it may go right and sometimes it may go wrong. So it is risk. Sometimes the people change their career from initially they are working some in a different place, I mean to say in different technology or in some different area, and suddenly they will take decision and they will start doing something else. So they are taking a risk. So decision is also involves somewhere a risk, and the risk we have to take the decision. So this is all about the decision theory. Then uncertainty. Uncertainty in the sense uncertainty exists when the decision maker is unable to ascertain or subjective estimate the probability of various state of nature. So see, each and every time when you're taking a decision, there is a probability, yes or no, right or wrong. So this kind of probability has come to your mind. Either I have to go this path or not. Either I have to follow this path or not. Either I have to do these things or not. Either this is right or wrong. So each and every time when you're taking a decision, so there is a probability. As you know, we have learned the probability. Probability is all about yes or no. That's it. When you toss a coin, either head will come or either tail will come. So these things, this is kind of probability. So each and every time there is a probability will come. So risk. What about the risk? Risk exists when a decision maker does not know the certainty state of the nature, but the probabilities of various outcomes is known. See, risk involved when you're taking a decision, risk is involved over there. So either each and every decision, sometimes it may be not, but most of the times risk is involved with it, because most of the time we are taking a decision on, we are taking some decision which where the risk has been involved. Just like I have given an example of the stock market. When you buy some stock or commodity from the market, then there is a risk is involved. Analyst has told you that this product or this stock has going up and up, but it's a risk. Might be the market has been crashed and the stock value is going down. So what you will do? So there is a risk involved. Risk exists when the decision maker does not know that with certainty the state of the nature, certainty the state of nature, but the probabilities of various outcome is known. You know the probability of what the outcome will come. We know that we will got something, we have to do something. These things we know very well. So I can say that most of the decision risk is involved, because without risk you cannot get anything. So risk is involved each and everywhere. So payoff matrix. See, actually in the decision making we have we have seen that in the game theory payoff matrix, and again we have to see over here the payoff matrix in the decision theory also. What exactly the payoff? We have a decision and we have a payoff. So while we are taking the decision, the payoff matrix is shown over here. So you can see that the state of the nature J and alternatives, which is I. So A1, A2, A3 is alternative, and S1, S2, S3 and S4 state of a nature. So there is a payoff matrix for C11, C12, C13 and C14 like that. Then again A21, A22, A22. This is the kind of matrix which is called the payoff matrix. With the help of that matrix, we will take some decision and which involve our decision over here and what exactly to do and what not to do. So Cij is the consequence of a state I and alternative j. So Cij is the consequence. So I have taken some example of home health example. Suppose a home health agency. This is some kind of health agency, and we have taken an example of home health agency. Suppose a home health agency is considering adding physical therapy service for its clients. There are three ways to do this. Suppose a health, I can say health agency or health small nursing home kind of thing, where they have a different kind of facility, but they have added a new kind of facility which is nothing but a physical therapy service for their clients. So the clients will come and take the advantage of physical therapy over there. So option A, what they are providing for this is there are some options. Contract with an independent practitioner at $60 per visit. You can contract. See, might be if you want, so you can directly interact with the independent practitioners. So there is a lot of practitioners when you're going to involve, when you're going to in a certain nursing home or when you're going to certain health home clinic. So there is a practitioner, I mean to say doctors or some practitioners over there. So you can directly contract with them for just like that. I will come regularly. This is I will come regularly around 11 a.m. or 12 a.m. So I'm going to contract with that particular practitioner that when I will come into your clinic at 11 o'clock, I need a physical therapy day to day. So they will ask that for each and every visit we have charged $60. So according to that, it's contact between the practitioners and the patient. So option B, hire a staff personal physical therapist at a monthly salary $4,000 plus 400 MO for a leased car plus $7 per visit for supplies and travel. So either you can go to hospital or clinic and you can directly get the physical therapy through their practitioner, which is $60 per visit. And second option is here, either you give them monthly salary of around, you can hire one practitioner around 4,000 monthly salary plus 400 month object MO, $400 per MO. For a lease of car, you have also provide the $7 of car rental, my fuel charge or something, which is for supply and travel. So these two options we have seen. Then option C is also available. You can hire independent practitioners of $35 per visit, but pay for a fringe benefit or around $200 and cover the car and expense as option B. Third option, either you can go for a $35 per visit. It will come to your home and they will give you a physical therapy. And also apart from this $35, you have to provide some other option benefits and some car expenses and all. So now it's upon your decision how you can take if you require a physical therapy. So now it's upon your decision how we'll go ahead. You have a three option. So you have to make the strategy. You see, these are the data. When you're going to take any decision, so there should be an information available. When HR going to hire an employee, so should be their CV is there, all the requirements is there. So according to that, they will match their CV and they will hire the person. The same here, you have information available over here. You want to go for physical therapy, and information is available over here. There is a three option for the physical therapy. Either first option, either you can directly go to the clinic and you can start taking a physical therapy with the $60 per visit. Either you can hire the physical therapist of $400, $4,000 per month, and some other perks. And option C, you can hire independent practitioners of $35 per visit plus some other perks. So now it's up to you how you choose these out of these three options. So now you have to take the decision over here. It depends on your budget first. So now you got the information, you got the data. Now you have to make the strategy according to your requirement, as well as you have to think about your budget. If you have no issue with the budget, then you can go anything. You can hire a staff of personal therapists, so it will come to your house and it will give you whenever you want. So these three options are available. So you can now. So you have to take the decision. What decision will make you suitable, and through which decision you will get the maximum output. So these things you have to understand from these data. So this is nothing but these three information or these three data. So now you have to plan, make the strategy, and after this strategy you have to follow those strategy and you take the final decision like that. This is nothing but an example, a simple case study a small case study kind of thing. Then payoff matrix, home health example. So you have a demand of patient service visit. S1 state of nature, S1 is 30, S2 is 90, S3 is 140, and S4 is 150. The probability of stay for nature are unknown. So these are the demand of the patients, demand of patient service. How many days you want. So payoff matrix, home health example, alternative I, so net profit, contract with independent contractor, which is, see, I'm going to take first example in which we are going to take the contract with the independent contractor at $60 per visit. So how much net profit is equal to 75 minus 60 into D, which is 15D. So assumption charges of $75 per visit. There we are assumption charges of $75 per visit. So we have minus 75 minus 60 into D, which is nothing but 50 into D. Pay monthly salary of $4,000. This is the second one. Car allowance is around $400 and expenses is $7 per visit. So total is 4,000 minus 400 plus 75 minus 7 into D, which is nothing but minus 4,400 plus 68D. This is the net profit. Then if you hire a contract at $35 per visit, the car allowance is $400 and benefit is $200. The expenses is $7 per unit. So you have benefit over here around minus 600 plus 33D. So this is the total profit is equal to 15 into D for alternative A. So we have seen that state of nature 450, 1350 to 2100 and 2250. What we have done, what is D? D is nothing but your state of the nature. If you see that when you are going to 50 into 30 in the first when you are going to, this is the total profit. So how you get, if you see the 50 into D, D is nothing but this is days, 30, 90, 140 and 150. So D is nothing but days. So when you're going to 15 into 30, which is nothing but a 450, and 15 into 90, it is nothing but a 1315, and 140 into 15 is 2100, 150 into 15, which is nothing but 2250. The same thing over here in the second one, the same thing you will get the third one. Now you have to take the decision through the payoff matrix, which from where you get the maximum benefit. What's your final decision? You need to get the maximum benefit. What you want? You want the maximum benefit. So according to that, you have to choose. You have to take your decision. So alternative dominates any other alternative. So criteria for decision. There is some criteria for decision making. So let's see what's those criteria for the decision making. So Maximin criteria. Maximin. Criteria that maximize the minimum payoff for each alternative. Maximize the minimum payoff. Steps. Identify the minimum payoff for each alternative. Pick up the largest minimum payoff. Identify the minimum payoff first for each alternative and pick up the largest payoff. So you can see that in the first one we have found that in the alternative and the decision making, this is the minimum one. So Maximin in the sense which is the minimum one. So we write here Maximin and we choose the minimum one. So in this row 450 is minimum, in this row minus 360 is minimum, and in this row third one 390 is minimum. So we write here Maximin and we will choose the minimum value from here. So in the alternative A1 we found that the 450 is minimum, alternative A2 is found the 2316 which is minus 2360 is minimum, and alternative A3 390 is minimum. Then Maximin decision criteria. The Maximin criteria is a very conservative or risk adverse criterion. It is a pessimistic criterion. It assumes nature will vote against you. Might be there is a criteria in which you can check or you can think that the nature will be against you. So you have to take the decision according to that. You have to take decision according to that. So Maximin, Minimax decision, then opposite. What we have done here, Maximin and then Minimax. Minimax, if the values of a payoff matrix were cost, the equivalent conservatives or risk adverse criteria would be the Minimax criteria. It is a pessimistic criteria. That is a what initial was. Maximin is a simple one. Pessimistic. It is also it is a pessimistic criteria. It is also pessimistic criteria. So Minimax and Maximin. In Maximin, what see here I can show you. In the Maximin, what we will do, we will choose the minimum one. In the Maximin, we will choose the minimum, but in again the Minimax, we will choose the maximum. So whatever the maximum over here you can see the 2250 is max over here. So in the Maximin, Minimax, we will choose the 2050 year, 15,800 year, and 4335 over here. This is just opposite. So that would like this, and we have the payoff matrix. Here you can see the payoff matrix under alternative A1. The minimum is 45, which is 490. So we will take and list it is a column on the right side, 450. Under alternative A2, the worst case as the minimum is minus 2060. So we will take that and list on the column of the right side. Under A3, we see the 390 is there, so we will take the worst case of the minimum payoff 390. So we'll list that, and then we choose the maximum out of the minimax. So we will choose the maximum out of the minimax, which is the maximum. So we found that. $390 so well, and then maximum those minimums, that is 450, which is 450. Out of these three, what is the maximum? Maximin, we have to check the Maximin. First we'll take minimum, then we'll check in this minimum what is the maximum, which is 450 is maximum. So that is 450. So the Maximin criteria says that under all the things that would go wrong, one that goes to the least wrong is under alternative A1. That is the alternative we will choose. So the Maximin criteria in this case would select alternative A1 with the Maximin payoff of 450. So we can pay off the 450 over here. Initially what we need to do, when we started this, you have to when you're going to take maximum decision, so this is a slide in front of you, so you have to take the Maximin over here. What in the Maximin, you have to choose the minimum in all rows. A1 we found that 450 is there, in A2 2360, and in A3 390 is there. After this we have choose the minimum. We have choose the minimum. For the Maximin we have to maximize this. So in this all three alternatives, in all three values, 450 is the highest one. So this is the payoff value, and which is alternative A1. So this is the way you have to choose the value. So we have gone through this, now. So criteria for decision, what exactly the criteria? Now we can see that what exactly the criteria of the decision making. So minimax regret criteria that minimize the loss incurred by not selecting the optimal alternative. We have choose the we have not going to select from the alternative. So criteria for decision making, minimax regret criteria. We have seen the Maximin. This is the minimax regret criteria. Criteria that minimize the loss, which is minimize your loss when you're going to take decisions. Sometimes you may get loss or sometimes you may get benefit. So you have to minimize the loss. How you minimize the loss? With the help of decision making. So you can take the decision according to that. You can minimize loss by not selecting the optimal alternative. If you're not going to select the optimal alternative, you can loss incurred by not selecting the. So steps: identify the largest element in the first column. So this is just opposite to the maximum. This is the minimax. So you have to identify the largest value in the first column. Subtract each element in the column from the largest element to compute the opportunity loss for repeat of each column. This is something which is we have learned the yesterday only Hungarian method. There we have column. We had my mentor said we have subtract the column with the minimum value. Here just opposite. Here we'll subtract the column with largest value. Then identify the maximum regret of each alternative, and then chose the alternative with the smallest maximum regret. See, identify the maximum regret for each alternative, and then chose that alternative with the smallest maximum, which is then after that to identify the maximum regret, we will find the maximum regret for each alternative. What there is three alternatives: A1, A2, A3. Three alternative. In three alternative, we will choose the maximum regret for each alternative, and then choose the alternative with the smallest maximum. Then first we choose the max for maximum, and second we choose the for minimum. Let's see. See here the same example. There is a four. I can say that the states and three alternatives: 450, 350. This is the same what we have seen. So here how we'll do? Let's check. So see here, so that we have the here the construct the our that is regret table. So we start with the column 1. Here is the column 1. The maximum value of the column 1. This is the column 450. So we will take the 450 over here. So 450 we have taken. Go to the next one. So here we have taken the 450. Then 450 is the maximum one over here the column. So we will minus the 450 with its entire column. So 450 minus 450 is 0. Then again 450 minus 2360, which is nothing but minus plus. So it will 2360, which is nothing but 281 here. So initially 450, when you're going to minus 450 with 450 is give you the 0. Then again when you're going to make 450 minus 2360, which is nothing but minus plus. So it is 2810. Then 390 again, if you're going to minus 450 with 390, you will get 60. And what I have done, I have subtract each column with 450. So 450 minus 450 gives you 0. 450 minus 360, which give you 8010, and 450 minus 390, which give you 60. So are the three regret values? We are getting three regret values under column 1 on state of the nature 1. You can see over here. Then same thing we have done with the second one. Here what is the maximum one? Here 2370 is the maximum one. So what I will do, I will minus 2370 which each one. So 2370 minus 350 first, which is nothing but a 120 here. 2370 minus 1320, which is nothing but at 1350. Then 2370 minus 1720, which is nothing but 650. Then 2370 minus 2370, which is nothing but a 0. Same thing we will do for rest. We have seen over here. So 21 here maximum is 5120. 5120 is maximum. So what we will do, 5120 I will minus with 2100, 3020. Then here is 0. Then again 5120 I will minus with 4020 with this 1100. The same thing I will do over here. So here is maximum is 5800. What I will do, I will minus 5800 with all these. So 5800 minus 2050, which is nothing but 3550. Then here is 0, and here when I am going to 5800 minus 4350, which is give you 4050. So these all alternatives we will got. So now it becomes the new one like this. So now it has become the new one like this, which looks like where we get regret table. So this is nothing but a regret table. We will start minimax. So what I will do, we will get max. So it is minimax. What we will do, we will max regret over here. We require. So maximum. Again, we will check the maximum here. So 3550 is maximum here. 2810 is maximum over here, and 1450 is maximum over here. So which looks like this, where we will have a regret table with all those values filled in, and then for each row we will take the maximum regret, what I have told you. So under alternative, on the maximum regret is 3559. Under alternative to the 3550 should be there. I have written wrong. 3550, and under the alternative the two regret values 2810, and under the alternative 3 the maximum value is 1450. The maximum value over here. So what I will do, I will again. So what is the, in all three, what is the minimum? There we have chosen, in the minimax we have chosen what is the maximum one, but here what we will choose, here we will choose the mini one. What is the minimum? So 1450 is the minimum in all these three. So and we chose those maximum. The minimum we chose is 1450. So that's the minimum maximum regret. This is the minimax regret. That's the one you chose. In order to choose the alternative, the minimizes your opportunity cost. Now cleverly you have worked up an example here such that under each of the criteria that we have chosen, you get a different answer. Maximin shows alternative 1. Maximax shows the alternative 2, and Minimax regret shows the alternative 3. So these are the three. So here A3 is the alternative 3 is the Maximin. We'll choose the minimum. So this is the Maximin. So the Maximin regret criteria decision. So Minimax regret criteria is also a conservative criteria. This is also known as the conservative criteria. I will repeat once again this the payoff matrix what I have shown you. Just I need to complete this slide, and I will again repeat so that this concept, it's very easy, and I want that you can keep this concept in your mind so that if you got any matrix, so you can easily solve this kind of question. What is the minimax regret and what is the Maximin regret? So minimax regret criteria is also but I have shown one thing I want to tell you. This minimax criteria, Maximin criteria is not in your book. I have taken from out of the book, but I feel that this is very important, so I have put in your slide over here, and I have kept in mind that I want these things should be clear to you so that you can easily understand the minimax and Maximin payoff or regret. So minimax regret criteria is also conservative criteria, which is called. It is not a pessimistic as a maximum criteria. So we can see that minimax regret criteria, that is also relatively conservative. It is trying to minimize the opportunity cost. Basically, it is minimize the opportunity cost that occur if you choose the wrong alternative. It is not quite as pessimistic as maximum alternative criteria. In some cases, it is happy medium, but the criteria you use in a given decision in somewhat of course context dependent. What is have done, and here is illustrate three decision approach which you might use in the choosing alternative and in and in the next lesson we are going to go. This is nothing required. I was thinking that I will start before Hungarian, so I have written over there, but this is nothing. So I have again I will start. I will show you once over here. I will choose. I will show you once again that what you call the payoff matrix. So you understand almost about the decision theory. It is sorry. It is one of the easiest chapter in your book, and there is nothing. Just what keep, because you all are working in a organization, so you know that how to take the decision, what the decision involved while you're working on a certain project, or while you're going for a, if someone is in HR side, so you know that how your decision is important, how your decision is important for the organization when you're taking any decision to hire a particular employee, because company believes you to hire that particular employee, and they want that what the employee or what the person you have chosen, it is that person is fit for the organization. Suppose there is one example I can say. Then there is a requirement for any organization, and there is a person has come. Some person has come for the Java, which is Java language. Some person has come for the C++. Some person has come for the C. Some person has come for the embedded system. So the criteria is choose the perfect one. I mean to say who know each and everything, so that the company get benefit on that. So what the manager has told to the HR, that I need a person who has knowledge of Java embedded system. So I will take the I can say that interview, and I ask that if the person has knowledge in Java or embedded system, I will hire them, because that person I can utilize. So single person, I can say that single person has a multitasking job, so multitasking performance, so he can work Java as well as embedded system also. So in a single person I will get the dual thing, I can say dual programming knowledge. So it will help out the organization while working on that. So a single person know the Java also and embedded system also. So anyhow it is benefit for the organization. So it is not so organization has not need to hire two different person for the two different languages like embedded system or Java, because the single person can do the both he can work on the embedded system, and as well as he can work on the Java also. So it is anyhow benefit for the organization as well. So we can see that here criteria for the decision making. So let's start. Minimax regret criteria that minimize the loss incurred by not selecting the optimal alternative. 1 second, we can see that. But first we start with the Maximin. So this is the payoff. You can see over here payoff matrix. We start with the Maximin again. So here you can see the Maximin. So the first step is in our analysis to develop a payoff matrix. We are going to develop a payoff matrix where there is a list of various alternatives, and there is a list of We have four level. This is the four level state of the nature. Just understand this. This is the alternative and this is the state of the nature. Four state of the nature. Then this is the state of the nature. In the state of the nature and alternative, in our task to determine each of the alternative, when each of the state of the nature occurs, what the consequences of the state of the nature occurring if we had selected the alternative. What the state of the nature will come if we select the alternative over here. So we have to choose the alternative as that the criteria when we each of the state of the nature, that what the consequences of the state of the nature occurring. According to that, we will choose. We have to choose the alternative over here. So we need to choose alternative on the basis of the state of the nature. So what we will do, our task then is to determine of each of the alternative when each of the states of the nature occur, what the consequences of the state of the nature occurring if we had selected that alternative. Then we can see over here. So the CS, what is the which is CS I of J, in the table are the consequences. These are the consequences. State I occurring under alternative J. These consequences could be the cost. This can be a cost and could be profits or some other type of consequences. In our analysis, we will simply use either profits or cost. These we have to choose as a profit or cost. These consequences we have to choose as a profit or as a cost. But you could think of other consequences that you could value here, such as loss of light if we had an immunization program. Productive light here is the lost if it was an analysis of various drug therapies and so forth. So consequences depend on the context. So the consequences, what is the consequences we have chosen is depend on the context of the problem. What exactly the problem is here. So we can see that we have example we have taken initially was what the example we have taken. We have taken the example of the home health problem. Here you can see the home health care example. This example is drawn from the book. Some books I have taken. Quantitative analysis. See, there is quantitative analysis. There is one book of Stuart Boxman. If you want, you can check out Chuck Austin and Boxman for health services administration. It make a nice case study to build a lecture. So we can make a small. I have told you this small case study in the lecture round. So the idea is, suppose a home health agency is considering adding physical therapy services for its clients, and it's considering three different ways of doing this. I have told you three different ways of doing this. Option A is to contract with the independent practitioner, and that would cost you agency of $60 per unit. Option B is to hire a staff of PT, which is nothing but a physical therapy, at the monthly salary of $4,000 plus 400 bucks for a leased car, $7 visit for a supplies and travel expenses. And the third option C is to contract with an independent practitioner. You can hire an independent practitioner, also what I have told you, at the $35 per visit, but to pay the fringe benefits for the person of $200 and cover the car and another expenses as option B. So in the option C, B is also included. I mean to say the perks of the car and the the expenses what in the option B they have called, they have to give in the option C also, apart from the 35 what you can say 35 for independent practitioner 35-day visit, and also the $200 you can say the perks kind of thing, and also you have to provide the car rental or expenses just like petrol expenses and other expenses. For that you have to provide just like $7 we are going to give you per day. per visit or per day, what exactly? So same here, we have to give over here $7 per day visit. So here we have seen that. Then again, so you can see over here, so for this is our state of the nature of this we can have monthly demand for the, suppose monthly demand for the patient service in terms of visits per month of 30, 90 and 140 and 150. I have taken as a day, so we can take as a month also. So we will just screentize this problem and having four possible state of the nature listed here, and we are going to assume initially that the possibilities of these state of the nature unknown. Unknown. We know that the four state of the nature could occur. Four state of the nature could occur. This is the four state of the nature. But we are not at the point willing to assign probabilities of occurrence of these state of the nature. So we are not assigning. We are looking something different. We are what we want. We want the net profit. How will getting the net profit from these? So we are assuming the probability of state of the nature is unknown. So we can see over here. So payoff matrix, what they have done, how is they will get the payoff. The next step to develop a payoff matrix, we need to do some calculation to do that. If we contract the independent contractor of $60 per visit, this is the $60 per visit, what you have seen over here, independent, and assume that the charge for the visit of $75, we can assume that charge for the visit per visit is $75 per visit. Then the net profit under alternative is 70 minus 60 times of demand. D is nothing but demand, times of demand, how many days they want, how many months they want. So D is nothing but demand. So 70 minus 60 is 15 into D, demand. That is occur 15 times D. Alternative A consequences is 15D, and we will plug in the various values D to determine those net payoff. So how the will getting the net profit, we will see. This is the second one. Again, second alternative, option alternative A, the monthly salary is 4,000, what they want. If they are providing a physical therapist at home, they want 4,000 monthly salary. The car allowance is $400 and the $7 visit for expenses. And so we are out of pocket 4,400 because 4,000 this and 400 this, 4,400 right now. So it's minus 4,400 and it's 75 minus 7. 75 initially we have taken, charge of per visit minus 7 expenses is there. So minus 4,000 minus 400. This is the, because this we have to give from our pocket. So that's why we have put minus minus. And again 75 we have to give from our pocket. So again minus 7 per visit. So the net profit is 4,500 plus $68. So 75 minus 7 is $68. If you're going to minus and minus, this minus 4,000 minus 400, which is nothing but a minus 4,400. If these are both minus and minus, so we are going to add this with the minus sign. So this is 4,000 plus 400, this minus 4,400. If you are going to, if there is one plus and one minus, then we are going to minus this, then minus 4,000 plus 400, which is going to minus 3,600. So depending on the D. So here also again depending on the D. Then last one. Finally, under alternative 3, we contract for the service of our physical therapist at $35 per visit, and the paid of the car allowance as $400 with fringe benefit and $7 per visit. We are not out $400 and $200 right away at the minus $600. So this is going from our pocket. So minus 400 minus 200. This is minus 600. Then again $35 we need to pay per visit, and minus 7, which is expenses over there. So 75 minus 7, 35 minus 7, which is nothing but the 42. If you are going to minus from 75, which is 33. So 33 into D. So 600, 400 minus 200, which is nothing but 600, and this is 33D. So minus 35 is paid for, we have to pay the proprietor or $74 for expenses. So net profit will be minus 600 plus $33. 600 plus 33 D for days, sorry. So next one. So here again, I would begin with the put of the, now we have to start with the payoff matrix. Here you can see the how we can calculate the payoff matrix. I would begin to put the payoff matrix over here with the start with the first one, which is 15D. So alternative A, if we calculate for the 30 visit a month state of nature, so S1 is equal to, so here S1 is equal to 30, that gives a total profit of 15D times D. 15 cents 30 of the, so here D is the, I have told you, this is number of months, over here number of days. So 15 into D, 450, 15 into 90 is 1350, 140 into 50 is 2100, and 150 into 15, which is nothing but 2250 respectively. So you can see that each and everywhere you will get this. So again over here, now the second one, this is, we have chosen the first one, this is second one over here. So minus 4400 plus 16 into division D, in place of D we will put 30. So again you will get minus 2360 over here, because minus is here, so it will depend the value of year, first one is higher or second one is higher. Which one is higher sign, we will take that one. So here for 4400 is higher, so minus, then again if you are going to D of 90, so here and minus this one 70 20 will come, here 50 20 will, 50 and 20 will come, and this is 5800 will come. So this, in the second row you will get this option. Here is equal to 4400 plus 68D. So the value are minus 2360, 70 20 and $5,800. These all in dollars. Then again the third net profit is 600 plus 33D. Again what we have to do, 33 multiplied by 30. So this will get 390, and 90 into 33 plus minus 600 you will get this. Then 140, 33 into 140 minus 600 you will get this, and 33 into 150 minus 600 you will get this. So this is the four value, this is the complete matrix we have made with the help of each and every each alternative profits. Again now, so this has become your payoff matrix now. So no alternative dominates any other alternative. So there is no alternative apart from this. So now what we need to do, we have to start from, now we have to make the decision criteria with the help of that. So we have to start with the Maximin criteria. So criteria that maximize the minimum payoff for each alternative, maximize the minimum payoff. So steps, identify the minimum payoff for each alternative. So what we do, alternative is where alternative is in each of the row. Each of the row there is one, so alternative what, A1, A2, A3 like this. So we have to identify the minimum payoff for each alternative and pick the largest minimum payoff. Largest minimum payoff. So what I will do, I will do, then again Maximin. Do remember Maximin. So we have to choose the minimum value from each alternative. So from first alternative I have found the 450 is minimum. From the second alternative I found that 2360 is minimum. From the third alternative I found that the 390 is minimum. After this, when you written this, then you found the first you have chosen the minimum value out of each row, then you have to choose maximum value out of these three column, out of this column. So 450 is the maximum value of this column, so 450 or Maximin. So this is the Maximin. So that is 450 is the Maximin criteria. Says Maximum criteria says that under all things that could go wrong, one that goes at least wrong is under alternative one. So here may can go wrong anything. That's the alternative we will choose. So the maximum criteria in this case, we would select alternative A1 with the maximum minimum payoff is 450, which is 450. Now the second one, this is the maximum payoff we have seen. Then we have to see the minimax payoff. So in the minimax payoff, in the payoff matrix of the table were cost, then the equivalent conservative of the risk adverse criteria. So we can choose directly criteria for the decision making over maximax, minimax and maximax. Criteria that maximize the maximum payoff for each alternative. Identify the maximum payoff of each alternative and pick up the largest maximum payoff over here. So maximum payoff we have to choose over here. So you can see there. So you can see there. So maximum value over here you have to choose. Initially we have chosen the minimum one. Here I have to choose the maximum in each row. So you find the what is the maximum value in each row. This is the 2050. Here 5800 and here is 4350. So we have found this. Then after this maximax we have to choose. So this is the maximum value we have found over here. In this maximum value in this column, so last column which is called maximus, in this column what is the maximum value again? So this is found as 5800 is maximum value over here. So this is the maximum one out of this. So this is a maximum or maximums. In this case the decision would be take alternative from alternative 2, which gives you the maximum of the maximums. So first case we have taken the alternative 1 and in the second case we have taken the alternative 2. Next one is minimax. Minimax regret. We have seen that minimax. So in the minimax regret, when the regret word has come, so what you have to do, you have to choose the minimum value from each column and maximum value, minimax, maximum value from the each column, and you have to minus those values with each another value. So here 450, we are going to minus 450 with each one. So you can see that here 2370, then 2370 minus with each one. You can see that 2370 we have minus with each one. Then third one, you can see that third one is in the 5020 I have minus with each one. Over here again, here is 5800 I have minus with each one, subtract with each one. Then you found that so finally you will get this value 0, 20, 80, 60. So you can see that 0, 20, 80, 10, 60. 20, 10, 60. The same value what you have seen here. This is all value. This all value you have to put over here. You have to put over here. So when you're going to put these values over here. So after that you have to choose the maximum value over here. So maximum regret over here. So here is the maximum regret is 3550. Here is the maximum regret 2810 and here is the maximum regret is 4050. So 4050. After that when you see this, then you have to choose minimum one. After this you have to choose over here minimum one. Under alternative maximum is 450. Then after this, so minimum you have to choose. So minimum after all these three, 40, 50 is the minimum one. So this is your final value. So we have choose all these and we have done with the decision theory today. So now decision theory has been completed. So just keep in your mind how to choose minimax, maximin and minimax regret, which is shown. I have shown in the last. So these three tables, these three matrices you have to keep in your mind while doing anything. So decision theory is all about how you will take the decision and with the using the mathematical matrix terms, how we can